we're in the 1 Series and we've got a bit of a knocking noise coming from the back. Now, I put the B12 Bilstein kit on this one. I didn't change the top mounts on the suspension shock absorbers at the back, and I've got a feeling the one on the driver's side is compressed and we've got a little bit of play there. I'll just try and drive it, see if you can pick up on the noise. It sounds to me like it's a shock absorber rattle. They do sound a little bit peculiar because it's not every bump. It's kind of like, it's a funny old bang. I can hear it now rumbling away. You always get like a, it's like a double resonator, which makes me think that's why it's the shock absorber. So it's one bump, but you get like a double, and it's coming from the back driver's side. So let's go and get it back in the garage. Let's get it jacked up and see what we can find. I've got some lovely Powerflex bushes, so we can swap those over and see if it sorts it out. So these are the little Powerflex bushes we've got. Okay, so you get a shim and 2 parts for each side. So you get a bottom and a top, and then the spacer that's going to go down the centre, and that obviously traps the body in between the two. We've got to get this black interior out of the way so we can get to the mounts, which are right at the top. Yeah, let's dig, let's get in there. So first things first, we'll get the boot liner out the bottom. We've got 2 screws on the back panel, just pop those out. Then there's 2 more little press clips. I've got my trim tool there, links in the description for all the tools. We pop the rubber trim off and pull that out, nice and straightforward. Same again, these just pull the centre out and then pop the back of it out and it releases the trim. We'll have the light covers out. Got 1 at the top there and 1 at the side there, and then that is pretty much all the fixings. Just at the top here we've got the seat pull lever. Push them seats out the way. Stand to the side. Yeah, there we go. We've got this little Lexicon set there, which is the Torx bits. T40. I'll get that into the ratchet, the Milwaukee electric ratchet, and we'll just whiz that out and just pop that down and pull the plastic trim out. Now this is ready to come out, borrowing the plug on the back of the cigarette auxiliary socket there. Just pop that out and now it's ready to come. They're quite tight, these are. Bit of a wiggle, away it comes. There's a little polystyrene bit there, just needs to sit there. And then underneath there is our mounting bolt. Now if I bounce the car up and down, can you see that moving? We've got some play there. Oops. So in the top we've got a 5mm Allen key slot, and it's a 16mm nut there, so we'll get that on the top to hold that in place. Put the knuckle bar on it, and then we can undo. These nuts are pretty tight. The centre will spin because the nut's got a nylock thread on it just to stop it from coming loose itself. If you get it to a certain point there, you get the ratchet on and whiz it out. Have that off the top. See, that doesn't look damaged or anything. But it must have just compressed over time, and you can see the second part of it, which is from underneath. We'll get the jack under it, get the car up on its jacking point. Nice plastic jacking point under there. This is the low entry Sealy jack. Links in the description. You can see the culprit up there. Look, that's what we're heading for. So we'll get the wheel off. We've got a locking wheel nut key. We've got the Milwaukee impact gun, and we'll pop that off. 17mm wheel nuts on this one. And you can see that lovely B12 shock absorber sat there with the Eibach springs. So now under here, you can see that's the rubber there that we want to replace. To get to it though, we've got to get that shock absorber out, which I'm going to swap my jacks over because the red one does drop quicker than the Viva, the yellow one. So what I need to do is get this up and then release it quickly so that the shock is compressed. I drop it, look, and it actually gives me a gap at the top so that I can either get my fingers in there to pull it down. Now on a normal shock absorber you'd be able to pull this down, but these B12s are so stiff. They're gas filled. They go up really quickly and you can't pull them down by hand very easily. So I'm going to have to find another way to do this. I'll pull the cover down and then I'll do the same thing again, but I'm going to put a rope ratchet round it and try and compress it with that. We're going to take the bottom bolt out first though. This is a 21mm nut and bolt through there. We're going to take that off the bottom arm, and that's going to give us a bit more give as well, just to give us a bit more room to drop this down. You've not got to worry about your tracking or anything. There's no adjustment on this bolt. You can just pop that out and just drop that bottom arm down a bit if you can. And like I say, it's going to give us a bit more swing on that shock absorber. Not a lot, but it will give us a bit. It will give us a bit. So here's the rope ratchet. We'll hook that round the top, underneath the metal washer that's up there, and then I can attach that to the bottom arm there and pull it up, and it's going to compress that shock absorber down. Like I say, these are super stiff, and they're quite new as well, so they are just like mega stiff, which is what you want. It gives it a great ride. The car drives like a dream. You know, the handling of it is amazing. But there you go. Let's pop that out. It's just compressed it enough to get it out. Pull it down a bit more so I can get it back in again, and then we can take that mounting off the top.
Well, it's out. Get a little bit of lubrication just to pop on the bush to stop it squeaking. So we've got the one. This is the 10mm inner. You get 10 or 12 on there. This is the 10mm. So let's drop a bit of this lube just around here, just like a bit of grease. Stop it squeaking. And we'll have just a little bit around that. Pop that through there. Then that one can go over there. And we'll get that back in again. Hopefully, not too much ado.
Once we get it in place, we can release the rope, and it'll just release that shock absorber. Look, it's already going back up into place. Just guide it into the centre. It's a bit tight, this is. It's really stiff. Crack that off the bottom. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed to the channel. It's free and you'll get notifications for all the videos that are put up and coming. It does me a massive favour if you subscribe. So yeah, please give it a click down below.
Okay. Let's get this back up and through. Like that. Get the bottom bolt back in again.
Just get that lined up so the hole you can see right through the arm and through the bush, and then we can slide the bolt in place. Give it a wiggle if it's not quite true, and it will just line itself up. A little tap with the copper hide hammer. Put the nut back on the other end, and then we can whiz that up nice and tight. We need to get this in a place where it normally sits though.
We'll just get this up to normal ride height before we do this bottom bolt up, so that it doesn't tense up that bush. Just about to there. Sitting pretty, looking nice. And then on the inside, I'll have another little bit of grease on the bottom of that. And on the inside, slide that over the top. We just need to release this from the washer. It's just got a little bit of bonding in there. with the washer for the new one. So we'll have just a little bit of grease on the back of that. Knock that off there. And we can do that right up. Nice and tight like that. You can see now, we've done that up. This one here is really squashed up into place. Nice, really nice and tight.
We'll get it down off the jack, just lower that down. We're nearly one side finished. We'll get the wheel back on. 110 Newton meters if you want to torque these up. My gun's got electronic torque on it, so I've got that set to where we need it to be. Whip the axle stand down and let the jack down. Now we'll go for the other side now. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to whiz through this really quickly though, but if there's any problems I'll slow it down and you can actually see what's happening. So you'll get the jack up again, have that wheel off, axle stand under it. Just getting that under the cross member there, look in the middle, just in case it does drop. With it's not going to go anywhere and squash me. Locking wheel nut on there again, whiz those nuts out. We'll jack that up, take the tension off that bottom bolt, and then we can pull the bolt through. And we jack that right up to compress that shock absorber. We'll get a strap ready there, and then we'll do the same thing again. Drop it down really quickly, and then it gives us a gap to get the strap in. Gotcha. It's like catching a fish. We'll jack it up again, compress it, and then it's going to be easy for me to pull this together. So now I can pull that really tight and then let the jack down, and that should stay compressed and drop down with the bottom arm. Here it comes. Here it comes. Give that a good tug, and we should be able to get it out. Bingo. Again, it doesn't look in bad condition, that. But it must just be squashed a bit.
Don't need that. We don't need that with the Powerflex bushes. They go straight in on their own. Some grease around the back of this. A bit in the middle.
Give it a quick smudging round, and then we can have that back over the shock absorber again. Slip it on the top there, and then try and get that back into its hole again. We'll use the jack to jack it up slightly, get it in place. Get it lined up, release the ratchet. Get that out of the way. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. Bolt through the bottom again. Just line it up, you push that hub across and it'll just pop through. Get it into its normal position. And then we can do that up nice and tight. Job done. And again, with the top one, put a bit more grease on it, round the bush, pop the new bush on the top, wash around the bolt back on there, and then whip that down, and just finish it off with the Allen key and the bar with this spanner. There we go. You can have the rubber cover back over it. And same with the other side. Pop that one on, and we're about ready to put the trims back in. Get the jack out of the way, wheel on again, get it at a nice ride height so we ain't got to be bending in the boot. Get those whizzed up. Don't forget to take the lock and wheel off the nut, otherwise you'll be driving down the road and it'll be flying off. Now we can get these trims back in, and the only hard bit about these trims going back in is where I am now. Trying to get it to line up in the back seat there, in there. That's the only bit. The rest of it goes in straight forward, it's not too bad at all. Just replace everything as we took it off. Whiz that one back up again and pop the little push clips in and the cover for the light unit there. Obviously we've got to put the connector for the 12 volt auxiliary socket just then. We did that. And again, this is the hard one. So you get it in roughly and then you have to pull it back round at the back end. So just try and get it tucked in a bit, and then you have to do that, pull it out to get it in the last bit. and then push it up and then push it back in again. That's the best way I could describe of doing it. It's getting that bit behind the seat is a bit tricky without taking the seats. If you want to take the seats out, you could do, but that's a bigger job completely. But I find it a bit of faffing. It goes in. It's not too bad. And at the top as well, just give it a little, get it over there, and we're good to go. We'll get that securing mount back on there. Just whip that up, and then we can get the clips back in again. And we're nearly there, not far away. Hopefully, this is going to be knocking free. As far as like performance goes, I don't think you're going to feel it. Well, you're not going to feel any difference. Probably slightly stiffer, but very, very little difference in the actual performance of the car. But these bushes are going to last forever. They're not going to deteriorate like the foam ones do. So the longevity of these is going to be, well, it's going to be good. And because it's got the stiffer B12 suspension, the foam ones, that's probably why it destroyed them. There we go, they're all sorted. Nice Powerflex bushes on the top of them shock absorbers. Hopefully that's going to get rid of his rattling noise, and it's all going to be beautiful. Let's take it for a spin and see what happens. Right, let's do it. Let's give it a spin. Oh, so far so good. Oh, blissfulness. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I'm so pleased, because that was driving me batty. It was a horrible noise. The only thing we got now is just the general rattles in the car, the bottles of aftershave down here that somebody's left in here. Not me. But yeah, this car, I love this car. It's doing loads of miles though. It's a motorway beast. It's up and down the motorway, at least 500 a week. But that noise was, just really annoying. Well, if you've enjoyed that one, if it's been of use, if you like them Powerflex bushes, I'll pop links in the description. Give them a click, and well worth the money. Absolutely fantastic. Drop me some comments, little thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.